Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 1028th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away, you'll see that this battle was hosted on the grassy flatlands map. Okay, and a lot of you, all of you that watch my battle videos will know I never host on this map. This, I believe, was hosted by Brotherhood member Lando. And I've been asked why I don't host on this map, and I'd just like to take the, just kind of explain it to you, if you like, and that is, as a lot of you know, I played Rome Total War since the first day that it came out, and every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, we just played on this grassy flatland map over and over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, I just got fed up with this flat, featureless, boring map, and that's why I started to host on other types of RTW battle maps, which people seem to like. And then I downloaded a map pack where I selected a lot of interesting, I hope, and exciting and different maps that we actually fight on. Well, a lot of you that watch our battle videos will know that we fight on a lot of very interesting maps. So that's the reason I don't host on this grassy flatland map anymore. It's just that for all the years and years that I played on it, I just kind of got bored of it. It's flat, featureless, and to be honest, boring as well. Those of you that watch our battle videos regularly will see the interesting and exciting maps that we usually fight on. So as I say, I believe Brotherhood member Lando hosted on this particular map. And just to say, during the course of this cracking battle, you're going to be asked a tactical movement question, which I hope you'll find interesting. It'll be interesting to see what you think is the right answer here. Okay, so our first teammate is GoTW Romex. Now he's got 11 infantry, 3 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, 11 infantry, 3 archers and 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and you'll see he's got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that'd be a tried and tested Romex army there. Our next teammate is a Brotherhood member Mars. Now Mars has got 14 infantry and 6 cavalry, the bog standard 31k Roman army. And the reason that's the bog standard 31k Roman army for many years is because it's so effective and so efficient. So that's why Mars has got that army. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now Barclayman's faction of choice these days are either Pontus or Thrace, but Carthage used to be his faction of choice, and you'll see that he's brought Carthage to the battle here. He got 14 sacred band, 4 slingers and 2 cavalry. Okay, you'll see he's got 8 upgrades on his sacred band, and he's got the Balearic slingers. They've got reasonable range, but what I'd like to draw your attention to is the 2 fast moving general bodyguard units there. Okay, now he's bought these 2 fast-moving cavalry units for a specific reason, and you'll see why he's bought these 2 units. When you see the factions on the other team, you might be able to guess why he's bought these 2 fast-moving cavalry units. But make no mistake, they have been bought for a singular purpose, and you will see what that is as the battle unfolds. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander. I've got 14 infantry and 5 cavalry, but I just wanted to show you something within my army here, and that is I always bring a couple of eagle units there, as you can see. Okay, so I've got 2 extra morale boosting eagle units, as well as my general morale booster as well. Okay, and the only reason I'm showing you this is because later on in the battle, those morale boosting units could prove invaluable, and as you may well see. So you can see we're all red Rome and Carthage, so you'll be able to see which team is which during the course of the battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Lando. Now he's got 12 infantry, 3 archers and 5 cavalry. Okay, so 12 infantry, 3 archers, 5 cavalry. He usually brings serious cavalry. Oh yes, there you are. 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. Okay, so make no mistake, that would be a tried and tested Roman army of Landos there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Vet Plague. Now he's got 6 chosen axemen, 1 knight raider, 4 archers, 3 berserkers and 6 cavalry. So he's certainly got quite a diverse Germanic army there. Okay, And have a look here. If I remember correctly, I think his Gothic cavalry was fully upgraded. Just check the upgrades there. Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So his cavalry, his Gothic cavalry, is fully upgraded. 3 veteran stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So that's some serious cavalry there he's got. And it'll be interesting to see how well he uses that during the course of the battle. And I think he's got a barbarian warlord cavalry general, if I remember correctly. There you are, barbarian chosen warlord general there. So he's spent most of his money, from what I can see, on his cavalry. Okay, over here you'll see he's got his 4 chosen archers there. Remember, these are long-range elite archers. Then he's got his chosen axemen here. Remember, these guys have got effective against armor axes and could cut wide swathes through heavily armored troops like Roman infantry. And I see he's got a Knight Raider unit as well. Now, these are good infantry in their own right, but they bring a fear factor as well, taking morale away from enemy troops, destabilizing them, making them more susceptible to routing. Okay, now he has got 3 berserkers as well. Okay, but you can't see those berserkers. Okay, and the reason for that is because, can you see the dark patches of grass there? The dark patches represent long grass, and he's got his berserkers somewhere hiding in that long grass. Okay, so just to give you a heads up on that. Their next teammate is RTW player Sultan. Now, he's got 13 pikes, 6 light lancers, and just 1 archer unit. Okay, so have a look at the upgrades on his forward units of his Macedonian battle formation there. He's just got gold shield, gold attack. And the reason he's only spent a bit of money on those units is because they're going to make first contact with the enemy and suffer a lot of casualties. If you look further back in his battle formation, you will see that he has got the optimum upgrades on Macedonian Royal Pikemen. 8 upgrades, 2 veteran stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So make no mistake, that would be a tried and tested Macedonian battle formation there. And then he's gone for the light lancers with 7 upgrades on. Now remember, these guys got a massive 9 charge bonus. Do you remember we've looked at these before in one of our other battle videos? You know, very underestimated cavalry. They are only light cavalry, but with that massive 9 charge bonus, they can be quite useful. But only 1 archer unit there surprised me, bearing in mind that Macedon is very susceptible to missile damage. So it'll be interesting to see how well that army does during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is a Brotherhood member Tabor. Now Tabor's got 4 archers, 10 infantry and 6 cavalry. I just want to show you the upgrades on his infantry. Now he's only got 10 infantry, but if you look, can you see he's got 7 upgrades, a veteran stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So he certainly spent his money on his infantry there. So I'm guessing probably his cavalry just gold shield, just gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So he decided to spend the bulk of his money on his infantry there. So they were quite a diverse team for the enemy team, I suppose. Rome, Germania there with Vet Plague, and Macedon there with Sultan, and of course Rome with Tabor. Got the potential to be an absolutely cracking game. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we would have an archer count. Okay, so you can see here that Romex has bought 3 archers. Okay, got 3 archers there, and I think if I remember correctly, Barclayman has bought 4 slingers. I think there's 1, 2 there, and I think there's another 2 with his other battle formation. There you go. So we got 4 slingers and just 3 archers. Okay, I don't think Mars or myself bought any archers, so actually all we've got is 3 archers. Now this could be relevant. Okay, if we have a look at the enemy team, can you see that there's 4 archers there? Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so they have got 11 archers against our 3. Okay, 11 archers against our 3. Now, could that be relevant as the battle develops? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But that certainly is a lot of firepower in comparison with what we've got. So, as I say, archers used at the right angle can be quite, you know, quite destructive actually. Okay, so over here you can see that Vet Plague has moved his Germanic cavalry over to our right flank and their left flank there. And you can see that he's bringing his archers forward. Possibly he could either be targeting the Carthaginian Sacred Band spearmen there, or he may well be targeting the Balearic slingers. Remember that the slingers have only got a lot shorter range than archers. And once again, I'd like to draw your attention to these two fast-moving general bodyguard cavalry units. Okay, so once again, if you look at the enemy's factions there, can you think why these two cavalry units are going to be so important to this battle? Okay, I'll let you have a little think about that. You've seen the enemy factions there. Why do you think those two cavalry units could be extremely important to this battle? Well, it all will be revealed a little bit later on. But as here, poor old Romex's archers there are getting really hammered by so many enemy archers there. So I think the feeling in the team was, because we were so outnumbered in archers, that the feeling, I think, was to attack. I think that's what the feeling was amongst the team here. We know that Mars is a very aggressive attacking player, and we know that Romex can be as well. Well, Barclayman and myself may be a little bit less attacking there, so it could be a good combination here in our team. But I can see Mars running his infantry forward straight away here. I think Mars did say something along the lines of, you know, they've got so many archers, we need to attack. And that's, you can see that he's kind of leading the charge there as he moves forward there towards the enemy Brutii Roman army there. Very aggressive move there by Mars, backed up by his cavalry. Okay, you can see the archers there of Brutii, they've been pulled back. Obviously he doesn't want them to be hit by cavalry or infantry, and he's pulled them back. But just look how far Mars has advanced with his army. You can see that he's really intends to be aggressive in this battle there, and he's taking them right up close to the enemy troops, where I'm pretty sure now there will be some pilot exchanging going on between Tabor's Brutii infantry and Mars's Red Julii infantry there. Okay, you'll see Romex moving his infantry forward as well towards the Scipii and Macedonian troops. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second there. Okay, so you can see who's facing who here. But just as I say, these two fast-moving Carthaginian cavalry general units there, can you see how Barclayman is slowly but steadily move those cavalry units around the flank of the enemy team? Now, once again, just look at the enemy factions and see if you can guess why these two fast-moving cavalry, notice how I say that, fast-moving cavalry, could be very important in this battle. Okay, so just look at the enemy factions there, and remember when we looked at the army builds. Okay, remember we looked at the army builds there. And there you are. Can you see now Barclayman is now for the first time running those cavalry units. He walked them round hoping that the enemy wouldn't notice them too much. Now he's running. Right, now can you see the trajectory of his cavalry? Okay, and remember we looked at the Germania army, and remember the Germania army has 3 berserkers. Okay, but we couldn't see them. Do you remember? We couldn't see the berserkers. And that was because they were hiding in the long grass. Okay, so in the dark patches there is a long grass, so that's where the berserkers are hiding, somewhere in those dark patches there. Okay, now remember, if any enemy unit gets near or touches a berserker unit, that berserker unit then goes berserk, and then comes out completely the control of a Germanic general, and those berserkers will just chase after the nearest enemy unit. Okay, so just to give you a heads up on that, that is why Barclayman bought these 2 fast-moving Carthage cavalry units here, because he's looking to try and activate the berserkers. Okay, pause the game for a second here. Now, what I would like, we know we talk about battlefield awareness. Why aren't enemy cavalry units intercepting these 2 cavalry units here? Okay, you know we talk a lot about battlefield awareness. Now, Barclayman's brought those cavalry all the way around the flank and actually got in behind the enemy troops, and no sign of any interception by enemy units. I don't know what you think about that. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, here you'll see that Mars is still being his very aggressive self here, attacking Tabor's infantry. Okay, backed up by his cavalry, but you'll see that Lando has brought his cavalry over here as well. Now remember, Lando's cavalry's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So there's a lot of cavalry over here watching Mars. But as I say, you've got Mars's cavalry and you've got Romex's cavalry here, both keeping an eye on what's going on this flank. Okay, but anyway, if we go back to those 2 fast-moving cavalry units over there. But here, as I say, you can see a lot of pilot exchanging going on here between Tabor and Mars' infantry. But as I say, just watch for these fast-moving cavalry general units of Barclayman. They're searching for the berserkers. Okay, so he knows that they're hiding in the dark class. Right here, you can see the Germanic general here is now, and you can see the Macedonian general here has now spotted the cavalry and are now looking to intercept them. But I think it could be too late. Now watch out for the berserkers in the long grass. There, can you see the berserkers in the long grass are hiding? Now watch the cavalry unit. They're going and bang, activates 2 of the berserkers. He's hoping to activate all 3. Now watch this. Watch, he's hoping to activate all 3 of those berserkers. And there, he's done it. Pause the game for a second here. So now, all 3 of these berserkers are now activated and they've gone completely out of the control of the Germanic general. And all they'll be looking to do is to chase the nearest enemy unit. Now, if Barclayman's smart here, you'll use this fast-moving cavalry unit, okay, and take those berserkers all the way to the back of the battlefield there, away from the main battle. Okay, so as we know, the main battle is there. So if Barclayman now runs that cavalry unit over there, those berserkers will follow him all the way over to the back of the map. Now, bearing in mind that those berserkers are arguably the most powerful units in the game, to take them away from the main battle area is a really great tactical move there by Barclayman. Okay, make no mistake about this. This is a really important situation that you're seeing here on the battlefield. As I say, the berserkers are arguably the most powerful units in the game, and if you can draw them away from the main battle, which is what Barclayman did. Look how Barclayman waited for the berserkers to catch him up, look. But that's a fast-moving cavalry unit there, so the heavy cavalry of the enemy team will find it difficult to catch him. Okay, meanwhile over here on our left flank, as I say, you can see Mars here holding the left flank and being very aggressive towards Tabor. But also you'll notice here he needs to be very careful, because you'll see that Lando is bringing his infantry over here and could well possibly hit some of his units in the flank. Okay, Lando bringing his infantry across there. Remember that their archers, their 11 archers, will be shooting into us at all times. You'll see the Macedonian general is bringing his pike army over there as well to hold the centre. Okay, but as I say, this left flank of ours, just to give you a heads up on this, later on in the battle is problematic, as you will see. But here, a nice cavalry hit here by Mars, usual aggressive self. Look at him. Bang! As he smashes in there. Really nice hit there. Very, very, as I say, you could see right from the beginning of this battle that Mars is determined to be very aggressive. And I remember he did say to be, in all fairness to him, they got so many archers, we need to be aggressive. And he stuck to his word there. So, but you can see that Macedonian army of Sultans there moving in to support the centre of their enemy battle line there against Mars and Romex. But this, as I say, this left flank of ours is a little bit problematic and fragmented later on in the battle, and this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Okay, so you can see a lot of enemy cavalry there looking to smash into our left flank there. Okay, you can see here, as I say, Barclayman has split his Carthage army into 2. He's got his main army and a B army there as well, which gives him a lot of flexibility. 2 armies to move around the battlefield instead of 1. He would like to take on the Macedonians, I'm pretty sure of that, with his Carthage army. But here, can you see the length of those Macedonian pikes there, just prodding and causing casualties to our Julii ally there, but not fully engaging. Just like to show you that nice little tactic. And as I say, the enemy archers here, 11 enemy archers against our 3. And if you notice here, Lando's using his archers at an angle here, probably to target our cavalry. Okay, so just to give you a heads up on that. Okay, and meanwhile, right at the back of the battlefield here, can you see how Barclayman has drew those 3 very, very powerful units away from the battle there? Okay, unfortunately though, he's hit the red lines at the back here. He needs to be careful that he's not trapped, because you'll see that the Germanic generals brought 2 of his cavalry units over as well there to try and trap him. If they kill the Carthage unit, the berserkers then will return back to the battlefield there. But remember, those berserker units are arguably the most powerful units in the game, so to pull them away from the battle was a really good tactical move by Barclayman. So really well done to him there. It's an old school tactic. We used to see that many years ago, and it's nice to see it on the modern day battlefield. Okay, so over here you'll see this is where the main battle is being fought there. And you'll notice that Sultan's Macedonian battle formation there, he's not really interested in attacking, not really. What he wants to do is to try and invite an attack onto that solid battle formation of his, where of course he will be using the backspace tactic. So that's what he'd like us to do there. He'd really like us to attack. So hopefully my allies won't do that. You never want to play the game that the enemy wants you to play unless you've got a plan. And here you'll see a big cavalry battle going on there. But look how the enemy are shoving resources over to our left flank. Can you see they're moving a lot of resources to our left flank here? Maybe they think that the left flank of our team is a weak spot, and they may be looking to try and attack, as I say, our left flank there. Okay, if you look at our left flank, can you see how fragmented it is now? Can you see our left flank is a little bit fragmented there? Meanwhile, over here you'll see that Lando's main army is there. Okay, you can see he's got his main army there, but he's brought some of his units, including his general, over to this flank. Okay, so that says to me, bringing his general over here, that they consider this flank quite a important part of the battlefield there. He's got his cavalry over here as well. So as I say, this left flank of ours looks like it might be targeted. You've got those light lancers with their massive 9 charge bonus locked and loaded as well. So as I say, the left flank of our team was a little bit problematic, and as you can see is a little bit fragmented at this time. Okay, so meanwhile over here you'll see that my arm is facing the Scipii army here. Now there's a heck of a lot of pilot exchanging going on between my army and Lando's army, and there's something quite interesting I think you'll find here. You'll see, as I say, a lot of pilot exchanging going on, and what I wanted to show you here was there's one particular Scipii unit that is absolutely decimated by pilots alone. Okay, and I just wanted to show you that because I think you might find this quite interesting. Now remember, they're 81 man units. Okay, 81 man units there, and you can see here that this unit has already suffered massive casualties just from pilots alone. Can you see how this unit is absolutely decimated by pilots? Right, pause again for a second. Just 2 men left. So from 81 or 82 men in a unit, there's just 2 men left. Everybody else has been killed by massive armor piercing pilot strikes, and I got a feeling these 2 are going to go down as well. So the whole Scipii unit here could be completely taken out by pilot strikes. There you are, you can see 2 men left in this Scipii unit. Watch the pilots coming in on them. Right, 1 man left. Oh, he's took a hit there, but he's still standing. Still standing. Last man left in this unit. More pilots hitting him. He's gone down. Right. So just to show you that, I thought you might find this interesting. This whole Scipii unit of 81, 82 men has just been completely decimated from pilots alone. Oh my gosh, just look at that. Absolute decimation there. An entire unit taken out by pilots. So that's one of Lando's units completely decimated there by pilots strikes alone. Okay, so meanwhile over on our left flank, as I say, you can see a lot of enemy resources on our left flank there, ready to maybe charge in. And as I say, you can see our left flank, to me, well, it's kind of almost like there's nothing there, is there? If you look at our left flank, there's nothing on our left flank holding. all we've got is the center. So that's not very good. Okay, so bad news for our team here. You'll see that cavalry unit that was taken away, the berserkers, was captured by the Germanic troops. They were caught up against a red line, and that unit's been decimated now, and now those berserkers will head back to the battle. But I'm hoping with all the running that the berserkers have done, they might be exhausted. So I'm hoping that, and of course their battle proficiency will suffer a lot if they are exhausted there. Okay, so back over to the main battle area here. Oh, and just to give you a heads up, later on in the battle, I'm going to ask you a tactical movement question, which I hope you'll find very interesting. Okay, so as I say, here, the length of those pikes, look, can you see how Sultan just prodding and killing a few of our Julii allies there, okay? Because just look at the length of those pikes. Can you see that massive advantage that they've got here? And look at what our troops have got, just those short gladius swords. So can you see that our troops have got to fight all the way down those pikes to try and kill the man on the other end? And Sultan knows that, and that's why he's keeping just the points of those pikes on our Julii ally. They're killing our men there, and they just can't fight down those pikes to kill the man on the other end. And what a battle formation he's got here. Just look at all those battle formation, really solid there. With those pikes. So if we look over here on the right flank, you'll see the team moving around, the enemy team moving around there, and you can see here. Right, can you see I'm moving my Julii army forward here towards Lando's troops. Now, if you notice in front of me, there's not a lot of enemy troops. Okay, the only thing that I would say is they've got a lot of cavalry. They've moved their cavalry, if you've noticed, from the other flank now onto this flank. Okay, so you can see that now, and there you can see the Scipii cavalry there and the Germanic cavalry there on our right flank. Okay, so if you notice here, I am moving my cavalry over to a tactical position here where I'm going to look to counter any cavalry attack coming in on the flank of my infantry. Okay, so I'm very aware that the flank of my infantry, if I advance, especially if I advance here onto the enemy troops, you've got Germanic infantry there behind Lando's infantry, but I'm very aware that if I advance, my flank could be exposed to a cavalry attack. Okay, you can see all that enemy cavalry out there, Germanic cavalry and Scipii cavalry there, looking to smash into the flank of my infantry if I advance, I think. So that's why I've got my cavalry there to counter any cavalry attack coming in on my infantry. It's always a good idea to kind of work with your infantry and cavalry together as much as you can on the battlefield, because they really do assist each other. Right, now on our left flank here, you can see the enemy troops closing in. As I say, the Macedonian pikes, Sultan's not really interested in attacking. He just wants to sit there and invite an attack. But you can see here that Lando's being his usual aggressive self. And if you look, our left flank is now gone. Can you see? We've got our left flank has been completely smashed and destroyed there, and they're coming in on our left flank. All we've got is the center now and our right flank. But can you see how, like I said, our left flank had been very problematic and very fragmented, and now you can see that the enemy have taken full advantage of that. Okay, we've got our cavalry at the back here to maybe counter any attack, and you've got the slingers of Barclayman here throwing his slingshots into the enemy troops, which is good there for us, weakening them. But as I say, our left flank is, well, it's just not there, and the enemy have taken full advantage of that. And as I say, on our right flank there, you can see the enemy are moving in as well. So if you look, we are being assailed from the front and both flanks. Can you see that? If you look, you'll see, can you see they've got the tactical advantage here because they're attacking us from potentially three directions: our left flank, our right flank, and the front. So as I say here, really tactically they've taken the advantage there. We've gone defensive, and kind of through going defensive, we've kind of handed them the initiative here, and they certainly have taken that initiative. Here you can see Mars there fighting the the Scipio units of Lando. Right, can you see I'm moving my army forward a little bit here? Just pause the game for a little bit. So I'm moving my army forward because I can see there's a lot of enemy troops in front of me. I can see those Germanic troops in behind the Scipio troops, but there's not really a lot of solid infantry in front of me. So I'm going to move forward a little bit there. Okay, I'm not going to do a surge attack. I'm just going to move forward just to engage the enemy troops. And as I say, I've got my cavalry there ready to cover any potential cavalry hit coming in on the flanks of my infantry. Okay, so that's what I've got there. So there you are, you can see my troops moving in. As I say, it wasn't an attack, it was just kind of a movement forward there, just to engage some of the enemy troops there. You'll see that there's some enemy Germanic archers that have been thrown in there as well. And you can see that, can you see that Sultan has moved his main Macedonian army, looking to come possibly into the center there, or maybe come over to face my army, right? Can you see I've moved my Julia army forward again? And there you are, can you see Sultan bringing the bulk of his pikemen over to brace the line here with Lando's blue Scipii infantry. Okay, plus you've got that Germanic infantry in behind the Macedonians there. So, as I say, Sultan's brought the bulk of his pikemen over here, as I say, to brace the line there with Lando, leaving a line of pikes there, holding its ground there as well. So, a nice tactical move there, making the most of his troops. And as I say, our left flank is still, well, as I say, our left flank was non-existent really from what you could see, wasn't there? So, and over here, the berserkers have returned, right? But I reckon they're very tired or exhausted. You can see they're very tired. So I don't think that he'll put them in. I don't think they'll attack. I think they'll come out of berserk mode themselves, and then the Germanic general can take them back under control and maybe rest them. And that could be a very important part of the battle there. Okay, so you can see Barclayman bringing his Carthaginian spearmen forward there to neutralise a berserker attack. See this cavalry hit going in there like a bang! As Mars charges his cavalry, I think that's Mars' cavalry there charging in. You can see some Germanic troops being charged in there to counter that cavalry charge. But there you are. Can you see the berserkers now have come out of berserk mode on their own initiative? Now, it wouldn't surprise me if they're exhausted. Let's have, yeah, they are. They are exhausted. So when berserkers get exhausted or very tired, they kind of lose the will to go berserk. I know that sounds a bit weird, but and they've come out of berserk. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Vet Plague took the command of those three berserker units and maybe put them at the back of the battle there to let them rest. Okay, so watch for that. I think that's what he may well do. Take those berserkers over to rest them and then charge them in at a later time. But here you'll see that Barclayman has brought 4 of his Sacred Band, well upgraded Sacred Band spearmen there to brace my battle line. You can see he's integrated them in there, ready to receive a berserker attack. Remember, spears and pikes kill barbarian troops, including berserkers, quite quickly. So that's why he's bought those units there. So nice move there, teamwork move there by Barclayman. Okay. So as I say, you can see Vet Plague walking those berserkers round the back of the enemy's main battle line there, where I think he's just going to walk them around there and then rest them. And when he feels that they're ready for combat, he will then activate them and they will charge in. And maybe, just maybe, the berserker charge could prove pivotal. Okay, there's another cavalry charge coming in here by the looks of it. No, he decided to pull his cavalry back. But you can see here that there is now definitely a cavalry charge going in there. And bang! As it smashes into that Germanic infantry. Now that Germanic infantry has got a chance here of routing, because I noticed, because Vet Plague had fully upgraded his cavalry, he hadn't put a lot of upgrades on his infantry. And we know German morale is not very good. There's no Wailing Women as a morale boost there. So that cavalry hit by Mars has routed a lot of those Germanic troops there. So nice hit there by Mars. And make no mistake, that was a surgical hit there that he charged in there. I think he spotted the Germanic infantry didn't have a lot of upgrade and decided to hit with his cavalry. So well done to Mars there. Nice hit. But here, as I say, you can see there's a full picture of what's actually going on at this stage of the battle. But you can see Scipii cavalry out on our right flank and Germanic cavalry as well. Now it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they're going to be on this right flank and see if they're going to attack our troops there. Nice move here by Barclayman, another good move by him, blocking a cavalry attack into my flank there by putting that anti-cavalry spear unit there. But oh my gosh, you can see Lando is attacking the rear of our allies' cavalry. Right, pause the game for a second here. Okay, so this was a nice aggressive move here by Lando. Brought his cavalry right round there and smashed into the back of Romex's cavalry. Okay, just 2 units against 3 of Romex. Romex got 3 more cavalry over there. He may well bring into the fray. Now, you might think, well, why aren't I attacking those units straight away? And that's because I am very aware of all that cavalry, okay, waiting to charge in as well. So I think Romex got 3 units against those 2 units there. So I think he'll hold okay. But I'm just waiting for those cavalry units to charge in, because then I will engage the enemy cavalry. Okay, so as I say, Romex doing well, 3 units against 2 here. Okay, you can see Mars's cavalry coming out as well. Right, now watch the enemy cavalry. Okay, when they decided, notice I didn't respond to that kind of fake charge or whatever they were going to do there. Right, but here comes the Germanic cavalry going to charge in. I still haven't committed my cavalry. Notice I still haven't committed them yet. The Germanic cavalry have charged in, still not committed them because I'm waiting for this Scipii cavalry and the other Germanic cavalry there to charge in as well. Now just watch this. Okay, now I'm going to charge my cavalry in, and bang, as they smash in there. Now watch and see if the enemy cavalry attacks my cavalry. Okay, just watch this. Notice that we've all alt-attacked. Our Roman cavalry is alt-attacked, and we're using the heavy swords there instead of the light lances. Okay, you can see more Julii cavalry coming into the fray. Right, you can see the Germanic general charging his cavalry. And remember, he had fully upgraded Gothic cavalry there, giving him a lot of confidence there, charging into our Julii cavalry. But I noticed the Scipii cavalry hasn't charged. There's some more cavalry of Romex is coming in there. Look. And then you can see that we've all attacked and we're using our heavy swords. Tabor has charged a cavalry unit in as well. Now will Lando attack with his Scipii cavalry? There you are. You can see the Scipii cavalry of Lando coming in, and bang, as he smashes in there. But I think both Romex, myself and Mars have got our Julii cavalry in there. Make no mistake, everybody would have alt-attacked. Everybody's using their heavy swords there. And there you are, you can see we've routed the enemy cavalry there. Now this could prove very important in this battle. Okay, now what we need to do is take our cavalry in behind the enemy troops. Okay, that's what we need to do now. Get our cavalry. That's a Germanic general dead. We know Germania's morale's not very good, so killing the general's good news for us. Okay, so you can see now we're going to look to move our cavalry in behind the enemy team. Okay, so you can see that. Move our troops in behind the enemy team there. And it'd be interesting to see how the enemy responds to us moving our cavalry in behind them there. Okay, pause the game for a second here. So as I said here, this is one of Sultan's favourite tactics, just getting the tip of his pikes onto our troops so that he's prodding and killing just a few of our troops there. And I say, just look at the short gladius swords that we've got. We've literally got to try and fight all our way down the pikes to kill the man on the other end, like we looked at earlier. And of course, every time you're trying to fight down the pikes, you're losing men all the time. So that's what Sultan wants. He wants us to attack him. Make no mistake about that. And as I say, you can see over there his B army there still holding. He's moving a couple of units over there. But as I say, we've got our cavalry in behind the enemy team now. And it'll be interesting to see what we're decided we're going to do with our cavalry now. Apart from those light lancers of Macedon, I think that we now have got cavalry advantage. Okay, but remember, they've got archer advantage, and they will try and target our cavalry if they get a chance. Okay. And I can see more Macedonian pikes. That B army of Sultans he's now bringing over to reinforce his main army. Okay, you can see that now, that the Macedonian pikes are now being consolidated together. There's no main army and B army now. He looks to me like he's consolidating all the pikes there in what I would suggest would be a really tough pike formation there, defensive formation there. Okay, so you see Romex and myself moving our cavalry back there because we're being targeted by Germanic archers there. Okay, but here you can see Romex going to charge into this Brutii unit here, and I'm going to back him up and bang as he smashes in there. That unit probably should have, I thought, would have routed almost on impact there. You see my cavalry coming in as well, so we're charging in there, looking to take out this cavalry here as well. We will be avoiding Macedonian pikes, but meanwhile on the other flank here, now this could prove pivotal. Just going to give you a heads up on that. On this, can you see that Mars' infantry is getting smashed and crashed by not just enemy infantry but cavalry coming in as well? And watch those light lancers of Macedon with that massive 9 charge bonus. Okay, so as I say, this action here could possibly prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Okay, so there you are. You can see those light lancers going in with their 9 charge bonus, and bang as they smash in there. Oh my gosh, and Mars' infantry still holding, look, still holding. His general's there as well, giving morale bonus, but oh my gosh, just look at the numbers pressing in on his infantry. There's his general there, look, still giving morale there to his troops, but just look at the enemy numbers, both infantry and cavalry pressing in on poor old Mars' infantry there. Oh my gosh, just look at that. I see that Barclayman has brought a couple of his Carthaginian units over. Right, okay, Mars' general has just been routed there. Okay, and it looks like that's good news. It looks like the Brutii general's been taken out, so that's pretty good news for us. But as I say, this left flank, as you've seen right from always the beginning of the battle, has been very problematic for us and very fragmented. In fact, we kind of lost our left flank, and Mars put some troops over there to try and stabilise it, along with some Carthaginian troops there who both of them tried to stabilise our left flank. But as I say, things not looking very good, and these light lancers with their massive 9 charge bonus are now behind us. Okay, so as I say, our left flank has now definitely been broken there, and you'll see that both Romex and myself were fighting a battle in behind the enemy team there. I think I lost one of my cavalry units that ran into some pikes there, and under its own accord, of course. But here you can see this is a good move here by Barclayman. He's brought his slingers around the flank of the Macedonians, protect the slingers with that Carthage spear unit there. So those slinger units will be throwing slingshots into the flank of the Macedonians. Okay, and so there's a lot going on at the same time in this battle, so just trying to get everything in for you so you can see all the action there. But as I say, our left flank there, right from the beginning of the battle, to me was fragmented and kind of almost compromised, really, and now it really has been over there. And as I say, here you can see the berserkers are being rested by vet plague. They're still very tired though, if you notice. Still very tired, the berserkers are, but he's still trying to rest them there. And as I say, the Macedonian pike formation is holding. But remember, I've got those 2 eagle units. Okay, those 2 additional morale boosting eagle units, my general and Mars' general. So the 4 units there are radiating loads of morale to all our troops, both Carthage and Julii. Okay, so we've got 4 morale boosting units. Now, is that going to neutralise the fear factor of the berserkers? What do you think? Do you think that 4 morale boosting units there could neutralise the fear factor of 3 berserkers? Well, it'll be interesting to see as the battle continues here. Okay, I can see Romex with his cavalry attacking Scipio there. Make no mistake, that was a surgical hit trying to kill Lando's general. Okay, make no mistake about that. Nice surgical hit there by Romex, desperately trying to kill Lando's general there, take the morale bonus away from the enemy troops there. But sadly for us, Lando's general looks like he's still alive. As I say, Barclayman's put some of his Carthage units on our left flank to try and stabilise our left flank there. Okay, and as I say, he's got some units over on the right flank. Okay, so all I've got left is 4 extremely battle damaged cavalry units that I've placed in that position there to try and protect those slingers from enemy cavalry. But I'm thinking if I get hit by those light lancers with their 9 charge bonus, my cavalry is so battle depleted and tired that my cavalry could well be taken out. But we'll just have to see there. As I say, I thought that was a good position to put my cavalry to try and defend the slingers there who were shooting loads of slingshots into the flank of the Macedonian pikes. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. You can see here that Barclayman's brought another spear unit over there to try and support his slingers, who are doing a really good job at the moment. As I say, there's a berserker unit's been activated, so Vet Plague there has activated one of his berserker units there to attack my men. There, they'll be killing my men with their effective against armor maces there. And of course, as I say, they've got the fear factor there, but I'm hoping that the 4 morale boosting units that we've got within my army and you know, and that general unit of Morris there will neutralize the fear factor. Okay, here comes those light lancers, and bang, smashed into my battle damaged tired cavalry there. And as I thought, yeah, so that is now all my cavalry has now been taken out. All my cavalry is now dead, and they will now look to try and take out all the slingers here of Carthage. I see that Sultan's brought a couple of his pike units over here as well. You can see that Lando's brought some of his Scipii infantry over here as well to try and neutralize the Carthaginian spear units. So things not looking very good on our right flank here, as you can see there. All the slinger units have been taken out, and those 2 Carthage units I think are going to get taken out as well. Watch that 9 charge light lancer smash into that last Carthage unit on our right flank there. Watch that cavalry going and bang. So that now all the slingers and those 2 Carthaginian spear units have been taken out on our right flank. So now the enemy could possibly move in to attack the right flank of my units there. Okay, so as I say, things not looking very good I think for us at this stage of the battle, and he's still got 2 berserkers to throw into the pot when he's ready, if you see what I mean. Okay, and you've got Germanic troops that have rallied, those effective against armor axemen, and that Knight Raider unit, if I remember correctly, with its fear factor have rallied as well. And they're just going to stand behind the Macedonians at this time. But oh my gosh. Okay, so stand by, because I'm going to ask you a tactical movement question soon. So what I would do if I was you is have a look around the battlefield. As I know we're watching the action and stuff like that, but have a look around the battlefield, because I am going to ask you a tactical movement question in a moment. And being aware of the battlefield will really help maybe in what you think the answer to the question is. Okay, so I'm going to pause the battle here, and I'm going to ask you that tactical movement question here. So as you know, mine is the Red Julii army there. Okay, the Roman Red Julii army. And what I'm going to ask you here is, what would you do if you were in charge of my army at this stage of the battle? Okay, if you have a look around the battlefield, I'm going to show you different angles of the battlefield, and I'm going to ask you what you would do. Now, there's no chance of an attack, okay? I'm not going to attack head on. Even the old school, old-fashioned surge attack would not work against this massive defensive pike formation there. And bearing in mind, he'll be using the backspace tactic as well. There's no, so that's one thing I can say to you I am not going to do, is attack the pike faction head on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you different angles around the battlefield here, so that you can look around the battlefield, have a feel of the battlefield here, and think what you would do with my Julii infantry. Okay, so imagine you're the general in charge of the Red Julii infantry. Okay, what would you do here? I mean, look at that real defensive battle formation there. You can see that he's even faced pike units back there to counter Romex's cavalry, any attacks coming in there. So make no mistake, that is a solid defensive battle formation, and that is why I have got no intention of attacking. What he wants, what the Macedonian general wants, is for us to do a frontal attack, because he knows that his pike units there with that backspace tactic would just decimate my army. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so what would you do if you were in charge of my red Julii troops there? Okay, so let's see what I decide to do with my Julii army. Okay, so as I say, keep thinking, what would you do with this army of mine at this stage of the battle? I've thrown all my pillars, by the way. All the pillars have been thrown, so I've got no more pillars to throw into the Macedonians. Okay, just to add that into the mix as well. Okay, so I'll tell you what my plan is here. I'm going to completely disengage from the Macedonian pikes. Okay, I'm going to completely disengage from those Macedonian pikes of Sultans. Okay, now I can see Barclayman's got 4 solid Carthaginian units there that can hold the line against the Macedonians, but I don't think Sultan's in any hurry to attack. So I'm going to disengage, move my infantry back, and as I say, you can see the 4 Carthage solid, well upgraded units of Barclayman's there that will hold the line. As I say, I don't think Sultan's got any intention of attacking. He just wants us to attack. So as I say, I feel safe to disengage my infantry from the pikes of Sultan, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack these weakened enemy units here. Okay, so that's my plan. Now, can you see that cavalry there with their 9 charge bonus will probably charge into my infantry, unless... Okay, this is another thing I'm counting on. Alright, so I'm just going to show you this, something I'm thinking of here. I'm thinking that Romex is going to see what I'm doing. Okay, and I think he's going to bring his cavalry over to assist. So when I attack that enemy infantry, I think he'll bring his cavalry over here to assist. Okay, I think he'll bring it over here. And then I think that Sultan will then charge his cavalry with his cavalry, if you see what I mean. Taking the cavalry threat away from my attacking infantry. Okay, so let's see if Romex is reading my mind here and see if he's going to move his cavalry over there to attract Sultan's cavalry, allowing my infantry to assault the very, very weakened enemy infantry here. Okay, so you can see I've totally disengaged from the enemy pikes. Okay, and now I'm going to charge in to the enemy Scipii and Brutii infantry here. Okay, so there I go, charging in there, and can you see Romex has brought his cavalry over, as I was hoping he was going to, and he is now drawn away the lancers. The light lancers have now been drawn away here, allowing my infantry to smash into these weakened enemy infantry units here. So this was a nice tactical move. Now Romex may well lose all his cavalry. Okay, there's a chance here. I can see a couple of pike units being brought over as well. He could lose all his cavalry, but him doing that will enable me to take out what's left of the enemy Roman infantry here. You can see Tabor's general's been routed, and I'm looking to take out Lando's Scipii general as well. And if you notice here, as I said, Barclayman's Carthaginians there will hold the line. As I say, I don't think Sultan's interested at all in attacking. He'll just sit there in defence with his Macedonians. So there you are. You can see my Julii infantry now looking to take out the enemy Roman infantry there. Okay, which is what I've done. Now there's a couple of berserkers and chosen axemen being brought round here to attack my units. Okay, so this is where those morale boosting units are really going to come into their own. Okay, now you can see there, I think that's a Julii general's just been taken out, but here, as I say, Romex has basically lost all his cavalry. I think he's got 1 battle damaged cavalry unit left. He has lost most of his cavalry, but he drew the lancers, those light lancers, away with their 9 charge bonus there. Okay, so you can see that 2 berserkers have now been activated to attack my Roman troops. But as I say, this is where the morale boosting unit comes in. Okay, remember I've got 2 eagle units plus my general plus Mars's generals there as well. Okay, let's pause the game for a second here. So as I say, there's 1 eagle unit there, look, 1 eagle unit there, my general, so that's 3 lots of morale, and then you've got Mars's general. So we've got 4 lots of morale there being radiated out to all our units okay, which I'm pretty sure will neutralize the fear factor of the berserkers. Remember, what causes mass rout when people use the berserkers is the fear factor. That is the most important thing with the berserkers. Yes, their attacking specifications are important and their 2 hit points, but it's the fear factor that causes mass routs. So if you neutralize that, you take a big threat away. Now here you can see Sultan's brought out some of his pikes to make a pike wall there. Okay, but while he's doing that, nice move here by Barclayman, sneaky Barclayman here, as we call him affectionately. And you can see our Julian are getting in behind and maybe even trying to sneak attack. I'm hoping here, hoping that Barclayman's going to attack the forward units here of Macedon really aggressively to hold and pin those units in place. Okay, but I'm hoping here they're going to get round behind also and try and take out the Macedonian general. Now remember, Macedon morale is not very good. Take the general out and you could start a chain rout. Okay, that's what I'm hoping that could happen here. All right, but this pike wall here has been put up to stop me advancing, but he may well have to put those pikes back over to counter the attack by Barclayman and our Juliite ally there. Okay, make no mistake, these berserkers are vicious attacker. Do you see them glow then? That berserker unit just had a battlefield promotion for the proficiency and the kills that he just got there. Okay, but here you can you see that Sultan has now moved that pike wall that was in front of my army back over to counter the attack coming around the flank of his troops. Okay, so that's given me an idea. Right, we've just taken out all the berserkers. All the berserkers have just been taken out there. Okay, so now what I'm thinking, get ready for this, is an old school, old-fashioned surge attack on to the fragmented Macedonian battle formation. Okay, now is the time for an old school, old-fashioned surge attack is what I'm thinking here. Okay, you can see that the Macedonian battle formation is a little bit fragmented. They're being pressed heavily by the Carthaginians at the front. There's Carthage units coming around their flank. There's Carthage units in behind them, the general unit there. And as I say, there's a Julia unit of my ally over there as well. I think that's one of Romex's units. So now is the time for an old-fashioned, old-school surge attack. Now, remember, with surge attacks, you've got to get the timing right. You've got to look at what's in front of you. And once you decide to do the surge attack, there's no stopping. You surge attack, you wait for your troops to integrate, and then you surge attack again. Okay, so over here, as I say, you can see here that my Carthage ally is moving in. Right, can you see my troops now? Okay, there we go. Old school, old-fashioned surge attack. Bang, as they charge in there. Okay, you'll see now that Sultan is turning some of his pike units to face the threat. Okay, but what I got to do now is I've started the surge attack. I need to surge again. Okay, get ready. You're going to surge again into those Macedonian pikes. Right, see the surge of the infantry going in there, pressing down on the pikes. Right, there's some enemy cavalry coming in behind me, so I need to turn units to face that threat. And bang, as they smash in there. But make no mistake, I saw that cavalry coming in and I turned units to face that threat. There's a Brutii infantry unit in behind us as well. Right, pause the game for a second here. So really great work here by Barclayman, really pushing in on the Macedonians, holding and pinning them. Mars's general's not engaged, but he stood close by, radiating morale. Plus you've got the Carthage general radiating morale as well. But you can see Barclayman here really pressing in with his Carthaginians here, holding and pinning Macedonian units, while my infantry is surge attacking. Right, now I've actually held the next surge attack because I had infantry moving back towards the enemy cavalry, but I am now going to start the surge attack again. There you are, old school, old-fashioned surge attack, pressing down the pikes of Macedon there, really pushing in, trying to push through those Macedonian pikes with that old school surge attack. Look at the surge. Can you see the troops actually literally surging forward into the enemy troops there? And now the Carthaginians are moving in en masse as well, just trying to take out that Macedonian general there. I mean, I can't tell you how great teamwork Barclayman's doing there with his Carthaginians there. Really, you know, really great teamwork there. And that's the Macedonian general's just been taken out. And it looks like our team has managed to go on and win the battle there. So just like I say, can you see how my units have actually surged through the enemy troops and come out the other side? That's what an old school, old fashioned surge attack can do if you get the timing right and the technique right. Okay, so at the back here, do you remember this is where that big cavalry battle was, with the Germanic cavalry and the Scipii cavalry against our Julii cavalry there at the back? Do you remember that? That was a bit of a tussle there, but we won that cavalry battle, and then we could take our cavalry round behind the enemy team. Meanwhile, over here on our left flank, our problematic left flank there, you can see a lot of dead troops there as we move across the battlefield here. Some more dead here as well. And some more here. So you can see how intense the fighting was by just looking at the troops here, the dead troops there. You can see how intense the fighting was as we move further up here. I mean, oh my gosh, just look at that mass of dead there. So, oh my gosh, you can just see massive piles of dead there. Look at that. As I say, it just bears testament, doesn't it, to how intense and how grinding down this battle was. Just look at all the dead over here as well. Oh my gosh. Piles of dead, like it seems like wherever you look. But as I say, our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. And I think, if I remember right, Mars has got one unit left, and that's his general unit. I think, if I remember correctly, he's got one unit left. And I think Romex had one unit left as well. A cavalry unit. There you are. That's it. And that's the only unit that Romex had there as well. So both Mars and Romex just had one unit left each. That's all they had. So that just goes to show how intense this battle was, doesn't it? For those two skilled veterans there, just to have one unit each left. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well. I don't think anybody made a mistake. It was a close victory, and like I said before, close victories are so rare. When we do have a close victory, I feel almost compelled to show the battle because it's so rare. And the highest kills in the game unusually goes to the losing team, to a Sultan Adnan there. Highest kills in the game with his Macedonian army there. So well done to Sultan. Great kills. And as I say, quite rare to have the highest kills in the losing team there. So as I say, well done. Well done to Lando. Got over 1,000 kills. So well done to him. Really well played. Vet Plague will be a bit disappointed. He got less than 1,000 kills. But I thought he did well with his Germanic army. And of course his berserkers were caught hiding in the long grass. As I say, well done to Sultan. Highest kills in the game. And well done to Tabor as well. Got over 1,000 kills as well. So really well played, guys. Great battle there. GoTW Romex there. He only had one unit left at the end, but great kills for him. I think he got the second highest kills in the game. Well done to Mars. Great kills for him as well. Remember, he only had one unit left as well. And my kills, yeah, I'm quite pleased with those. Yeah, quite pleased with those kills. Not brilliant, but not too bad either. And well done to Barclayman. Great kills. Great teamwork there by him as well. Now, what about faction advantage here? Okay, who do you think? So we had Rome, and Carthage. Quite a powerful combination there. They had Rome, Germania, Macedon, and Rome. So do you think that either team had much of a faction advantage there? Please put your thoughts in the comments. Just to say, I really appreciate if you could put your thoughts in the comments. I really love reading what you think about our battles. It's nice for you to put thumbs up as well if you've enjoyed them. I really like to see the thumbs up. But if you could put a comment in the comments, it's, like I say, it's really nice to read what you think about our battles. We play Rome Total War every Friday and Saturday night, and Barbarian Invasion on a Sunday night. Please come and join us. It would be really good to see you. And I hope you enjoyed this battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.